Welcome back, everyone. Today's guest is a bit of an oddity to me. For me, as an American, I'm not used to seeing an Asian person with a British accent. Now, I'm not being racist there. I don't judge people for that kind of thing. It's just unusual for me, that's all. Like, what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing don't go together in my head. It happens with other people, too. Take Kate Beckinsale, for instance. The first time I saw her was in a movie, and she very clearly spoke with an American accent. Now, not knowing anything about her at the time, naturally I just assumed she was an American. Then sometime later, I saw her in an interview, and she was speaking with her natural British accent. Totally unexpected to me. I mean, I already loved her, but to hear her with that accent... Sorry, I'm getting a little off topic there and probably oversharing. Let's get into this video. This girl has a few things to say about feminism and, well, I'll let her tell you.
Hey guys! So, from the title of the video, you can gather that I will be talking about feminism today. I actually kind of didn't want to make this video because I feel like feminism is a topic that invites a lot of hate and negativity, but it is definitely something that should be spoken about, and I shouldn't let that stop me from speaking about something that I'm passionate about. And so I am happy to be part of the discussion. So let's get cracking.
Now, that sounds fair enough, right? Happy to be part of the discussion sounds perfectly reasonable. But, hold on. Evidently there are some conditions to this particular discussion.
Side note, if you are an anti-feminist and you feel the need to comment hate and negativity and nothing that's constructive, your comments will be ignored, if not deleted. So there's no point wasting your precious time to comment on this video because I'm not gonna read them and you're not gonna change my mind about feminism, so...
Wow. Okay. Where to even start with that? I mean, you start off all right. Basically asking people not to be hateful and try to be constructive, but you wrap it up with, you're not going to read them anyway. Then how will you know that they're hateful or unconstructive? And if you're not even open to the idea that you might be wrong, and thus entertain the idea of possibly changing your position, then you're not really having a discussion at all, are you? You're preaching and asking for validation of your sermon. That's all. That's not a discussion.
So the reason I'm making this video, as you can probably tell, is because of the Women's March that happened just over a week ago now.
You mean this one? Yeah, lots of fools acting like fools.
And quite a few of the conversations that I've been overhearing on the news, in the papers, on social media, they kind of frustrate me. So I'm just gonna step through some of the things that I think we should be paying attention to.
Uh-huh. In other words, you want to cherry pick nice things and spin a narrative while ignoring everything else. Yeah, that's a discussion. Out of curiosity, do you know what makes a magician's illusions successful? Misdirection. They get you to focus over here while the magic is happening over there. Can't imagine why, but that train of thought just popped into my head for some strange reason.
I talk about this a lot with Libby, my sister, but we believe that feminism sort of needs a rebrand.
A rebrand. No, it doesn't, dear. It needs a trash can. You folks have so royally and thoroughly fucked it up at this point, there's really no saving it anymore.
A lot of the time you'll come across someone who's like, I'm not a feminist because I don't hate men, or I'm not a feminist because I don't think women are better than men. Something like that, and that's not what feminism is.
Here we go again. Another feminist with blinders on. Go ahead then, tell us how all this shit isn't feminism because your religion is pure and immune from such blasphemies. Should I go on, or is that enough to make my point? Because this kind of shit isn't just online or in tweets. It's pushing policy.
Feminism is just the desire for equality between the sexes. That's it. True feminists don't believe that men are lower than women. True feminists just want men and women to be treated equally in the workplace, in the home, in your private life, whatever.
Well, for starters, that's not the definition of feminism. This is. So, are you telling me that that definition is wrong? Because myself and a whole hell of a lot of others have been arguing that very point for quite some time. And I can think of several feminists off the top of my head who would and have argued that definition is still true feminism. If you're disagreeing with them, then I suggest you do it quietly because they really don't like that, and they may ostracize you from the club.
And it's about putting men and women on equal ground. We don't want to put men down and bring women up. We just want them to be on equal ground. That's it.
No. That's not what you want. You do want to drag men down and lift women up, because you believe that hasn't already happened despite things like this. Or this. Or this. That's why you push for things like this. And this. And this. You're asking for more privileges because you honestly can't see that you already have vastly more privileges than men.
Because at the end of the day, men need as much support as women do. There's a higher suicide rate in men because, this isn't like fact, but one of the reasons is because men feel that they are not allowed to express their emotions and that they can't cry.
So, this isn't fact. In other words, you're going to tell us how you think men feel. Well, shit! Everyone pull up a chair and listen. We finally found the one woman on the entire planet that knows what's happening in all men's brains. Look, moron. Men simply do not express emotions the same way a woman expresses hers. But instead of even trying to understand our way of expressing our emotions, you dipshits keeps insisting that we start doing it the way women do. Well, fuck you. It's not going to happen.
And that's because of the expectations that society puts on men to be strong and independent and emotionally stable all the time and that sort of thing. So men feel like they can't cry and it causes them to sort of fall inside themselves. And then that's why men's suicide rates are higher.
Maybe because when men do cry, or even just complain about some actual injustice, feminists do this. Now, what society exactly is it that's oppressing men's willingness to express their emotions again? You tell men to cry more, and when they do, you shame them or laugh at them for it. Because you don't care. You're just hateful cunts.
So that's another part of feminism. It's not just helping women, it's also helping men understand that they don't need to uphold these personality traits that society has forced them to believe that they need to have. Same goes for women, vice versa.
Oh, I see. I guess I completely misunderstood before. This is a sales pitch. If men will simply give up their jobs, their money, their freedom, their dreams, and their natural instincts to compete and succeed, we will be allowed to cry. Well, fuck! Why didn't you just say so? Sounds like the greatest deal I've ever heard. Sign me up! Woohoo!
Ultimately, feminism is just about equality, and if you're someone who believes men and women have equal rights and equal expectations within society, then I'm sorry to say, but you're wrong.
Well, I guess I'm not wrong then. I do not believe that we have equal rights or expectations. Women have more rights and fewer expectations. So I guess we'd better jump on that feminist wagon and push for more women's shit, because that will totally get us back to equality.
Just because it doesn't affect you on a personal level doesn't mean it doesn't affect millions of men and women around the world.
Ah, and here we go with the misdirection again. You see, this is why we don't take you fucking idiots seriously anymore. You hold up some poor oppressed woman from Saudi Arabia or something and say, "Look, we need feminism. This poor woman is oppressed." Then proceed to demand free abortions on demand, taxpayer-funded birth control, new court procedures to lift the burden of proof for rape victims, and all the other nonsensical shit you dopey cunts want in the Western world. But tell me this. How exactly will any of that shit help this poor oppressed woman you used as an example to get your privileges? Exactly. It won't. So even if we gave you all the shit you're asking for, you're still going to hold up this same poor woman as an example of why you need even more retarded shit. Well, fuck off! We know how your illusion works now. We're not fooled anymore.
And as I say this, I feel like it sounds like common knowledge, but in actuality, it's not. People do believe that men and women have equal rights and are treated equally within the workplace, when really they're not. And that is what feminism is striving towards.
Yeah, sure you are. Because this shit is equality, right?
And it makes me sad when people think that feminism isn't necessary anymore. But don't get me wrong, I do understand that men and women are different and we have different needs and tendencies. For example, women, we are more likely to be emotional because of the hormones in our body. That's like a chemical, literal thing within us.
Uh-huh. So, you know we're different on a biological, motivational, and emotional level, yet...
But it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have the ability to be CEOs of companies.
You still expect equal outcomes.
There are literal differences between men and women, and I understand that. And there are mental differences, and I understand that as well. But it shouldn't be something that debilitates what we do in life and the decisions that we want to make.
You accept that we act differently, we think differently, we have different goals and desires, we have different needs and behaviors, but you still think none of that shit affects what we choose to do. None of that shit could possibly explain the gender differences in certain jobs or areas of interest.
Hey, moron! Fucking moron!
So that's what feminism is about. It's not about pulling men down and pushing women up. It really frustrates me and makes me sad when people think that that's what it is, because it's just not the case.
Then, my dear, you'd better start preaching to the feminists instead of the rest of us, because that's exactly what it has become.
So those are kind of my views on feminism. Obviously it gets way more in depth, but I'm not going to go into it in this relatively short video. I'm just going to end the video by saying I am in awe of the power led but not exclusively demonstrated by women during the Women's March on January 21st.
What power? They achieved nothing. Apart from making themselves look like complete fucking morons anyway, they're a laughingstock, a joke. They were a gift of gold to Kekistani meme lords. It was a shit show of monumentally stupid people, an indictment of our education systems, nothing more.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you agree with some of my opinions. If you do, give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're an anti-feminist, I'm not going to pay any attention to what you...
Because this isn't a discussion at all. You're fishing for praise from within your echo chamber. That's not a discussion. That's it for this time, folks. I really don't think there's any more for me to add here. While her accent made her somewhat unique to me, her opinions are just as stupid and delusional as any other feminist. I'll see you all next time.